Hello guys, my name is Michael Altenhof and this is part 3 of my SMART goal project, and I'll be talking about and my project is how to generate power in perfect momentum for switch fighting in mixed martial arts. Now the goals that I tried to establish was the basics of striking, proper technique of not only striking but switch fighting, learning down switch, like how to switch itself, and of course there was goals to demonstrate overall ability. Right now, switch fighting is very simple in MMA and in boxing, right, in combat sports. So you have orthodox fighters, you have southpaw fighters, you have switch fighters. 71% of fighters go orthodox, 17% go southpaw, and 12% go switch fighting. Orthodox is the act of using using combinations by using the left hand to jab to set up combinations, not only in your punches but in your kicks. Southpaw is the exact same thing, but instead of my left being forward and my left jabbing, it's my right foot that's forward and it's my right hand that's jabbing. Right, that's setting up the combinations so I can throw off leg kicks, whole 9 yards. That's what switching is, right? Now my experience during this process was weird because of not only I kind of set really unrealistic standards for myself, because I didn't realize when reading the assignment in the first part that this was going to be an issue. I didn't think that we were going to be acting this out. That was supposed to make a good training regimen, and I completely set up something that I haven't even really tried much before. Right, so this was a genuine test and challenge to not only see my current ability, but how do I push forward. Right, my experience during the process was really interesting because of the fact that I learned a lot about myself. I improved in my own personal technique. I got switch fighting down better. My ability to generate power from not only the hooks but from just in general proper footwork into the punches, and being able to do that in perfect sync with the switching was really nice. However, during the process, there was just a lot of moments where it's like I set up like certain exercises and equipment that my gym just didn't have, or I was having health problems, so I had to get my health right, get my diet right. I had to get my body right, and so this was quite a challenge, because not only was I facing problems with lack of equipment and unable to perform a lot of the exercises I set for myself, I also found that with the health problems that I had faced and the lifestyle changes I was making for this project was extremely tough and very taxing on the body. So I had to make a lot of improvements. I had to make a lot of changes, while the plan was more diversified and had many more exercises. I had to stick to more sparring, bag work, and shadow boxing, and of course pad work to show this. And hell, I had like two of these weeks where I was uploading a file, and my file got corrupted, so I couldn't upload it. So, and I lost the space and the time, the ability to actually go in and record that again, because you have to book certain times. And so not only was the aspect of reorganizing this plan I made for myself, and you're also dealing with a time aspect that I was battling against, and that was a huge issue. But we managed to get through it, we managed to get by, and we managed to work on the goals. Now, in terms of my performance improvement, MMA is one of those things that you can't really, there's not really charts. There isn't really like measurements or charts for that skill, for that overall ability. You see it strictly based by the person's own personal improvement throughout the videos or throughout their training. And so for this project, there isn't really any statistics outside of when I'm talking about orthodox, or when I'm talking about orthodox fighting, which is 71% fighters use this, or I'm talking about switch fighting, or I'm talking about southpaw fighting and all this. There isn't really much to go off of, which is the problem with using MMA as a project that I am finding. Now, my performance improvements, I found that my cardio got better over time. I found that my technique, my ability to switch, and my momentum into the punches were better. I found that now that and through all this, I actually managed to lose 21 pounds during this project. This is a really hard one to really tell you much about the improvements, because it's hard to describe them to you. Because it's not really measurable, because MMA is one of those sports that it's measurable only in longevity. And it takes more than 6 weeks to be able to properly demonstrate that. So this video here, this part of the project is going to be lacking in that. I apologize. The challenges I ended up facing were, limited time for classes. A lot of the classes at my gym are strictly jiu-jitsu, and there's very limited for striking. And of course, I was battling not only time problems, I was battling health problems, I was battling a multitude of problems. And of course, equipment problems. I didn't have the proper equipment, or I overestimated my overall ability. And so those were the challenges faced, and how we improved off of them was that pretty much we had to stick to basic just bag work, striking. If we didn't have a sparring partner, I was working those sparring. I was working the striking, everything basically on just the bags. This was a very important part. Now, the effectiveness of the strategies employed was that I would, through this, even though I had to stick to just bag work, and sparring, the effectiveness of these strategies, especially the way they had to be revamped, was that it improved my striking. It improved my overall ability to go longer in the fight. It helped me lose more weight, and now my overall technique is more refined as the matter. And I don't really have anything to really show or prove that in this video, but that is, I hope it's best, shown throughout, the video submissions. Now let's see here. Now, in case you're new and you don't know, I want to go through for you what starts in MMA, right? So obviously we're using switching / generating power and perfect momentum in mixed martial arts, and a part of mixed martial arts is leg kicks, right? Now, leg kicks is the act of throwing a leg kick against another person's leg, whether it's on their thigh or it's on their calf, to damage the calf so that they have to retreat off of it. The point is to damage it so that they can't move onto it, so they can't generate power correctly. You're basically trying to disrupt their flow by using the leg kicks. Now, boxing. Boxing is the act of throwing combinations in orthodox or southpaw or in switch fighting, where you're throwing combinations off the jab to create openings, to land points, and hopefully land a knockout, which would be basically by damage or just overall momentum, right? That's the very basics. There's so much more in boxing than go over, but it's not going to happen. Okay, let's go in here. This right here is Max Holloway. This is one of the most, when it comes to switch fighting in the UFC, this guy is one of the main guys we know is a switch fighter, right? And he does it very well. And in fact, he's won many championships off of switch fighting. He's won even this belt right here, the BMF belt. And so when it comes to this, that's pretty much it. And like I said, the statistics for switch fighting in MMA, it's literally the least used style of fighting in MMA or just in any sport. However, comparatively, when we look at orthodox fighters and southpaw fighters, the ones with the most success when it comes to percentages wise, Switch fighters are often the most successful because they're ambidextrous. They're very unique, and they're hard to, and they're hard to get off their game. Because if you can fight in both ways, it's hard to get them off their game, to get them off their balance, and they're often very, very successful. This project didn't go how I had planned, and of course I talked to you about this, but the videos are the proof that I have that this project was done. The fact that the videos look different from the assignment itself is proof that that things had to be switched over, that there was a lot of challenges, and that I clearly overestimated myself. Yeah, that's it. I wish I could have presented more. I didn't know exactly how to do this third part here, but the fact that MMA is one of those things that you can't really chart out, that you can't exactly, best prepare, is yeah. That's pretty much an issue we face pretty consistently. Yeah.